Hello everybody, and welcome back again to another video. In today's video, I will be beating, or at least attempting to beat Five Nights at Freddy's 4 Night 2. Now, this is the second night in FNAF 4, and I have to say that while I recorded this one day, and then the next day along with the next day in the morning, for example, let's say I played and beat Night 2 on Monday, which now coming to think of it, I actually did beat Night 2 on the Monday. In fact, Monday, July 21st, 2025. So, I guess what I'm trying to explain actually all comes full circle once you or I think about it. But basically, I beat Night 2, though it was hard. I eventually finally got to beat this night. And I was really relieved. And then Tuesday, the next day came, and from I believe it was Tuesday afternoon to Wednesday morning, I continued to beat nights 3 to night 7. And when I believe it was Tuesday, I'm not talking about Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm just talking about Tuesday at the moment. But anyways, somehow it ended up being easier than Night 2 for some reason. Well, I guess now that I think about it, I wouldn't say for certain that Night 7 was easier than Night 2, but it definitely had its challenges. Night 6, I would also say it wasn't too bad in terms of what to do, at what moment, keeping Foxy at bay and out of the closet, etc. But that's not what we're really talking about right now. Right now, or at least I am explaining basically what I did to beat Night 2, how it was, and maybe more, who knows. But I guess let's see. Though I do think that Night 2 was definitely kind of a struggle for me, for mostly two reasons. The first reason is because I believe the day before, which was Sunday, I played Night 1, didn't play any more for the whole day, and then played only Night 2 for Tuesday. And then, night 3 through 7, from sometime during Tuesday afternoon to Wednesday morning, and then I stopped. Wednesday morning is actually when I'm writing the script for this, but if I can remember correctly, before playing night 1 of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, I believe it was Saturday that I bought and downloaded it, and the other reason, I believe, was because FNAF 4 is really nerve-wracking in the case of, okay, I'm going to walk to a door, not know if an animatronic is there or not, and like a couple of feet in front of me, have to have like my volume loud enough to hear if there's breathing or not, and if there isn't, then use my flashlight, and if there isn't, well,
Okay, so the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I'll play through.
I will say though, I believe that most of basically 90 to maybe 95, maybe to 98% of me just avoiding Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is just because of how terrifying and nerve-wracking that it is, But that last little bit of percent, I guess, is actually another reason why I avoided playing this game. And that reason is because after beating Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the last video on my channel of the series where I showed my gameplay of it, though I did do a couple of videos of me using my audio over it. It was just sloppy, but I promise that I will actually write things out to say for this series that I will be releasing before it releases. But back to what I was saying, I didn't really, from my memory, move from FNAF 3 to FNAF 4 for about, around, and or close to 2 weeks. Like I said, one of those reasons was probably because of how scary the game is to me, in my own opinion. But the other reason is because ever since someone got me hooked back into FNAF, but not really by asking me to play, just by watching them play FNAF 1, they got me into trying FNAF 2, giving it, another hopeful go and hopefully actually beat the game. And then I wondered, what if I actually tried to beat the game? And so I did. And I guess that brings us to where we are now. One of the reasons why I put this game off for about, or I think close to 2 weeks, was just because of how much I grinded the third game. I cannot explain enough how much a pain in my ass to have sit down, since I might have really or actually started a chain reaction of, hey, what if I beat this game? And if I beat that game, and I really want to, I could possibly even try to beat the next couple of games in the franchise. So yeah, I really also kind of put off FNAF 4 was because of how much I grinded FNAF 3, spending multiple hours even on trying to record footage of me playing the minigames, but for some damn reason my recordings would sometimes stop, and I think that was because my storage space was running low on my computer and my hard drive or something like that. And I believe from my memory that I stayed up past 3, maybe even 2 or a little bit around 4 a.m. in the morning, just to realize that I missed a whole minigame the whole time. And that just kind of like really pissed me off to know that I was trying to record the whole time and I somehow missed one of the minigames. Basically, one of the steps. Not just because I kept doing it over and over again tirelessly, but also doing it doing it wrong for a couple of hours without even realizing that I made a mistake. Even though the minigame that I kept forgetting to play, I played it before. But I eventually found out, but just decided to not record the minigames, at least early on, since they took so much time to do. And also the reason why I put FNAF 4 away and didn't play was because of some exhaustion by FNAF 3. Now sure, you might say, well, how are you exhausted from a game? It's not even physical. That is not really the point. The point is, even with that final boss mode, in quotations, boss mode, or whatever you call it, from what I remember, that took me at least 7 hours. And I believe in my last video of my series in FNAF 3, that the timer, when I found a way to install a timer, I believe the first game that I had a timer, I won. So even though it may seem like I didn't talk much about, Night 2 in FNAF 2, basically everything that I said was involved with FNAF 4, and how I also got to where I am with the game. Anyways, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe so that way you guys don't miss any more content that pops up on this channel. And I will see you guys on the next one.